No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
It's time for the Lithia Ford of Boise Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view their full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise Post-Game Show from Bronco Nation News.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on into the RowPaint.com post-game show. Our title sponsor, RowPaint.com, stepping up, sponsoring the post-game shows for the rest of the season. We appreciate our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. All your painting needs. I was talking to Andy Rowe today, their title sponsor, and he asked me to pass along that the floor coatings and the exterior painting is what they're focusing on right now. So if you need to touch up that siding on your house or any projects outside your house, now's the time. They've got great deals going on. And, of course, those floor coatings, they've got great deals going. If you want to get that the ugly slab of concrete in your garage, your back patio transformed, our friends at RowPaint.com, our title sponsor, can help you get it done. So appreciate their support. And, again, the best in the business, all your painting needs. Make sure you check them out at RowPaint.com. Tough one tonight for Boise State. They fall 76-66 in the quarterfinals of the Mountain West tournament. The Broncos just fell behind early and never really recovered. I'm not sure if they did they ever lead. They led for 31 seconds. I guess it was early in the game, but a couple sloppy turnovers early in the game led to some easy layups for New Mexico. And as I said, Boise State just never really was able to respond and falls tonight. Boise State outscored 40-20 in the paint. Really couldn't get anything going on the interior. And I thought Jalen House was tremendous. He was able to get to the basket pretty much at will. You knew he wasn't going to go 4 of 27 again like he did the first 2 games, and he went 10 of 21, 29 points for Jalen House. He was taunting a guy in the crowd. He was having fun. He had some swagger, and that's what I was worried about. This was a scary, scary game, and it played out exactly how I saw it, unfortunately, and not to say, oh, I told you so, or I was right, but the 6 seed, the 3-6 game is a scary game, and Boise State lost 3 years in a row in 16, 17, and 18 as either the 2 or the 3 seed for this very reason. Maybe that's why it was kind of stuck in the back of my mind. But New Mexico is a very talented team, one of the most talented teams in the league. They got their confidence yesterday. They got their swagger, and they kind of came in with nothing to lose tonight. And they played like the hungrier team. They played like the more desperate team. They played like the team that wanted it more. And certainly they were the team that deserved to win and won tonight. And again, Boise State took 34 3-point attempts. Half their shots were threes. They just couldn't work the ball inside. Omar Stanley was only 1 of 7 from the field. They really had an edge on the interior in the first 2 games, and they just did not have it in this game tonight. Boise State did get 18 offensive rebounds. They had a 46-45 edge on the glass. But overall, Boise State just on the interior was not really a factor tonight like it was in the first 2 games. And like I said, not only was Boise State having to settle for threes, they went 10 of 34, they were letting New Mexico and Jalen House pretty much get to the rim at will. Donovan Dent was getting to the rim, had some great great drives and things like that. So, I just thought that it was a rough one all around for Boise State. Not going to sugarcoat it. They were not the better team tonight. They did not play well, and they deserved to lose, and they did. But with that said, this was a top 25 net team. This is a quad 1 game, and I don't know if this really impacts the NCAA tournament all that much. Certainly it helps New Mexico. They're in the tournament now, but I don't know if Boise State, maybe it goes from a 7 to an 8. But I mean, I don't think this really kills Boise State. And as Leon Rice pointed in the post game, we're going to hear from him. They might actually have picked up a quad 1 win today. Boise State did, because if Colorado State gets up to 30 and they were close with their win over Nevada, that would move up, give Boise State another quad 1 win for beating Colorado State earlier this season. So they would have 7 quad 1 wins. So I think that Boise State is in a much better spot than people think for the tournament. They're going to be fine when it comes to Selection Sunday. I don't think this loss really hurts them all that much. You can point to little things and say they didn't play well and they weren't prepared and all this kind of stuff. But I really, don't think in the large scheme of things, other than wanting to win the tournament, does this really hurt them all that much. Roddy shot it way too much tonight. He finished 3 of 10. Roddy Anderson, I know John Mallory likes to say it, but he gets to the rim pretty much at will. I think Johnny says $1 million move, 5-cent finish or whatever. And we're actually going to hear from Mike Prater and John Mallory, by the way, their post-game thoughts here in a minute. But he just misses too many layups, too many bunnies. Roddy Anderson's obviously got some athleticism. He's just so close to being a heck of a player, and he's just not quite there yet. He's made huge improvements, but just a couple of boneheaded turnovers tonight. He finished with, I think, 4 turnovers, and he got yanked early in the second half, pretty early on, because he just had a couple sloppy turnovers that led to easy buckets. So I think Anderson is close, but misses too many easy layups, and also a situation where he just was, again, some of the sloppy turnovers really hurt them as well tonight. So the point guard play wasn't great. I thought Jace Whiting only got 10 minutes. I thought he might be able to do a little more tonight, but he didn't really get much of a chance to play. The bench didn't score until Cam Martin had that putback dunk, and then I think added a free throw, but I think the bench finished with 3 points in this game. So Omar Stanley was credited with 3 turnovers according to the stats. Bowman says 4. It was 3. Tyson also had 3 turnovers. Boise State was coming back. They were only down 4 or 5. I mean, they were down 11 early in the second half, and every time they'd cut it to 4 or 5 or 6, New Mexico would hit a couple of shots and put the game away. And Boise State had it, I think, down 5 or 6 or 7, something like that. And Tyson Degenhart lost the ball out of bounds, and that was kind of all she wrote for that one. So tough one all around for Boise State. They just didn't have it tonight. New Mexico did. Like I said, New Mexico knew they needed this game. And I'm not saying Boise State didn't try or didn't come out. And, they were feeling good coming into this game. They just didn't make enough shots. And as I said, New Mexico came in feeling great after their 30-point win over Air Force yesterday. And they played really, really well tonight. And I thought that, they deserved to win this game. So I was super impressed with what we saw from New Mexico. And I think they cemented themselves. They think they did. I think it'd be shocking to be left out, according to Richard Pitino. Leon Rice thinks they're in as well. So, I mean, it sounds like the Mountain West now going to be a 6-bid league. So that's at least a positive side there. Don says didn't pound the rock inside nearly as much. Yeah, I don't know why the game plan changed. Whenever they did, they were double teaming Stanley and Degenhardt, and that's happened a lot this year, and they've been okay with it. But for whatever reason, against Nevada last week and then tonight, they just didn't do a great job with the double team, and Boise State just could not work the ball inside. Again, they took 68 shots. 34 of them were from 3. So Boise State went 10 of 34 from 3. They also went 10 of 34 from 2. So you don't see a stat line like that very often. Boise State exactly 10 of 34 from 2 and from 3. They went 16 of 21 from the foul line, but I thought they missed a couple free throws late in the game, a couple 1-for-2s. I think Cam Martin, I think Roddy Anderson both went 1-for-2 at one point in the game. But again, New Mexico shoots 43% for the game, but they shot 57% in the second half. You're trying to make a comeback when you're down 9 at halftime. Letting the other team go 15 of 26 is not exactly going to get it done. So overall, just a rough game for Boise State. You tip your cap to New Mexico. They played well. They deserve the win. And I think that team could win this tournament. I think that team right there that we just saw and the crowd that they have, I mean, it was for those of you that were not here, it was a massive crowd advantage for New Mexico. And I'll put the final, section up here on the screen and let everybody see it. They had a super loud crowd. I mean, look at that. Look at that crowd right there. I mean, it looks sold out. I mean, the lower level was packed. New Mexico had a huge crowd advantage tonight. And this is not an excuse, but they brought the crowd, and the energy and the passion the crowd had rubbed off on the players. And I thought that rattled Boise State a little bit early in the game. So overall, if that crowd played, is back again tomorrow, which I'm sure they will be, and Saturday in the championship, I could easily see New Mexico winning this tournament, with the way they're playing right now. So kudos to New Mexico. They hit some shots. It was a great win, and Boise State really struggled in this one. You will see in the handshake line here, by the way, that Jalen House and Roddy Anderson did embrace not once but twice. They talked in the handshake line, and then they talked again afterwards on the court. I don't know if I got the second one on the video or not. Mark Moss, I saw him at the game. He is here in Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Mark. You can give some more thoughts on the fans if you'd like, Mark. I know you were impressed with what you saw. But he says 10-1 New Mexico fans, no joke. And yeah, it was Boise State had a nice little crew of fans here, but it was not close to what New Mexico had. They brought it, and give them kudos. They really brought it. And again, I think New Mexico is going to be tough to beat in the tournament if they're playing like that. We got some New Mexico fans in here apparently too. Oscar says go Lobos. So just they brought it. They're in the tournament, and good luck to whoever. Leon Rice said it himself. Good luck to whoever has to play them in the NCAA tournament, because that was certainly when they're playing like that, they can beat pretty much anybody. So Boise State will get extra couple days of rest. They'll head back to Boise tomorrow. There will be an event on Sunday, on Selection Sunday, for some of the boosters and stuff to find out who they're playing. And then we'll see where we're headed for the NCAA tournament next week. What fan it was that? You know what the funny thing is, Sky? It was actually not a Boise State fan. I actually have a video of this. I'll see if I can put it in real quick. It was actually a Utah State fan. I will put this in and get this on the screen here in just a minute. A Utah State fan was talking trash to House in the front row, and I don't know, what started it. I guess it was before the game, but he was blowing this dude kisses during the game. I mean, they were he was really letting them have it all game, and then he returned the favor there with with how well he played, 29 points. Let's see, I just put the wrong one in there again. So let me try to find it here. I'm sorry about that. But Jalen House, 29 points as I try to find this here. Here we go. Let's get this off the screen here.
Half the line, number 22, Mustafa.
Well, there's the guy. He's holding up a Utah State hat. He's showing people that he's a Utah State fan, and he's talking trash to them. It's a Utah State Aggies hat. But that's the fan right there that he was jawing at in the front row. finally some players had to tell House to kind of back it down, but he was over there, like I said in the beginning of the video, waving at the guy, telling him to get out of there. He blew a couple kisses to him after he made some big shots. So smart of some of the players there to say get him out of there. But that was and that guy was sitting right by Mark Moss, actually. So there's your video. You're able to see kind of what we were talking about there. So John Mallory, Mike Prater, host of KTIK, The Ticket. They'll be a part of our pool party tomorrow, by the way. I think the weather, we're going to keep our fingers crossed. It's going to be a little cooler than you'd like for a pool party. It's certainly going to not be ideal in terms of the weather, but I think the wind's going to hold off. There's going to be a little rain, maybe overnight or real early, but I'm hoping for the bulk of the 10 to 4, we're going to be okay for the pool party. So if you're making plans to come, hopefully you're not flying back right away. Come on over, drink your party your sorrows away from the loss. We'd love to have you at the BNN pool party tomorrow. If you did not RSVP, you can still get in for free. You just have to tell them you're for Bronco Nation News for the BNN pool party with BJ Rains and ask them for your free drink ticket as well, and they'll give you a free drink ticket when you check in. Todd, I'm not seeing that, by the way. I mean, again, if you look at the hour-by-hour forecast, there's only 2 hours that have a chance to rain, and that's at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. So hopefully by 10 a.m. when the pool party starts, we're going to be a little better. It's not ideal, but maybe kind of fitting with the weather for how the game went tonight. But John Mallory, Mike Prater, they're down here in our partnership with KTIK and BNN. They're doing their show from the pool party tomorrow. They had their thoughts. They wanted to join the postgame show here. This is shortly after the game. Johnny and Prater, their thoughts on the loss tonight.
Prater in the ball game here at Thomas and Mack. Boise State loses by 10. One and done in this tournament. Prater in the ball game with you for the BNN postgame show. I'm trying to process, Prater, how I'm putting this game into words. They obviously didn't play their best. They weren't blown out, but it just didn't go their way.
No, they didn't, and I think it all started before the game even started. And the narrative we all know coming in was, they didn't really need this game. And they lost that chip on the shoulder mentality that really works with this team and has worked all regular season. I'm working on a column right now for BNN that we'll file that talks about the narrative and how they have to play with a chip on their shoulder, and it really didn't. And at one point late in the game tonight, you turned to me and said, how many times has Leon Rice been one and done in this tournament? And we looked it up, and 8 out of 13 times now he's come into this tournament and been one and done, and that's just not getting the job done. And tonight there's a clear message why. They just didn't have that chip on the shoulder mentality.
Felt like Roddy Anderson. I mean, gosh, I say it all the time, $1 million move, 5-cent finish. It feels like there were just too many bunnies missed. As poorly as they played, I felt like this game still could have been there, and it wasn't, The
intensity, New Mexico had all the intensity, including in the crowd. But Boise State did manage it pretty well and went on a couple of small spurts and a couple of small runs. You nailed it, though. This game was won and lost in the paint. Boise State the bunnies didn't happen tonight, and New Mexico dominated the inside of the paint, where usually Boise State does with all that toughness. I think the rebounding numbers were pretty close, but the bunnies were not even close.
I think Richard Pitino's going to say, hey, the difference in this game as opposed to the 2 times in the regular season New Mexico lost to Boise State was just the style. I think New Mexico was able to get Boise to fight them the way New Mexico wants to be fought. And when they lost those games to Boise State this season, Boise State, they controlled the tempo. They said, you're going to fight our type of fight, big, physical, inside. Boise State, it felt like they got behind a little early, and then they were just like, okay, we're going to try to out New Mexico, and it didn't work. Selection Sunday in a couple of days, Prater, and Boise State's going to find out where it's headed. But yeah, a lot of Bronco fans going home a little bummed tonight at the Thomas and Mack.
I didn't think this loss would hurt that much, and maybe a loss on a Friday night would have been okay. This one stings. Boise State's going to, this one's going to feel in that locker room. The fan base is going to feel that. Here comes the Leon Rice crowd again. We'll see what happens. We all know what the storyline is next week. Boise State didn't match the narrative tonight. We know what it is going to be next week. I can't wait to see how that plays out.
All right, let's send it back to BJ Rains. Again, you're listening. I think we're on the radio. You are watching the BNN postgame show. More coverage tomorrow, and Prater in the ballgame, Idaho Sports Talk. We will be at Circa tomorrow, still broadcasting our show, getting ready for the BNN KTIK pool party. So stay tuned on social media for anything and everything we're going to be doing tomorrow. Bronco Nation, safe travels and good luck at the craps table.
Appreciate Johnny and Prater for their comments post-game there. Mike Prater did just file a column, so you want Mike Prater's thoughts on this loss for Boise State. I will get that posted if you are a paying subscriber of BNN. So we'd love to have you subscribe, and it's $50 for the whole year. BNN 50 deal gets you as the promo code, gets $20 off your first year. We'd love to have you and support us. And you can read Mike Prater's column here after the show ends. I'll get it posted right away. His thoughts about Boise State's loss tonight, and that's can't miss stuff. So Grand Teton says just win next week. Sick and tired of hearing about the record. Yeah, I know they showed the graphic correct on the TV broadcast. I saw somebody tweet it. 0-9, the most appearances ever in the NCAA tournament without a win. And that will be a prominent talking point going into next week's game. Yeah, they playing Thursday. Are they playing Friday? Do they get to stay close in Salt Lake? Do they go to Brooklyn? A lot of options for Boise State. And so Don says, hats off to UNM fans for showing up and being loud. Mark said, I'm impressed. They showed up, but a lot of trashy behavior. I heard some things as well. New Mexico fan, also always scared of BSU. Max Rice is no joke. Any plane tracking from Seattle? I guess you're talking about Leon Rice, Washington talk. We'll see what happens there. It sounds like Danny Sprinkle is the first choice. But if it's not Danny Sprinkle, I could certainly see there being some mutual interest from both sides probably on that one. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I don't have a great feel for it, but chance to go from 1 million to maybe 3 million, a chance to cash in for a big payday, get a chance to coach in the Big Ten. I think would be some appealing things for Leon Rice, especially if they were to lose next week and maybe he thinks that there's just a ceiling and that they can't get any further and can't win that game in this tournament. Maybe he thinks with Max graduating, it is time for a change. I have no idea what his thinking on that is. We haven't talked about that, and I know he's excited about next year. I know next year's team has a chance to, excuse me, next year's team has a chance to be the best. Maybe I know fans don't want to hear it right now, but I mean, you look on paper, who'd be coming back. This team should be better next year than it is this year. So there would be a lot of reasons for him to want to stay. But I certainly think after 14 years, if he was looking for a new challenge, something different, fresh start, that might be the case. And so a lot of the Leon Rice haters out there, if they get their wish, may be very intriguing the next couple of years to see what happens with the basketball program and whether this was, whether all the folks that were negative to Leon Rice realize kind of the era that we're still in here, going to a third straight tournament, here for the first time in history. We're going to hear from Leon Rice. We're going to hear from Max Rice. We're going to hear from Tyson Degenhart as well. Need to take a quick 90-second timeout. So don't go anywhere unless you're going to get another Cutwater or unless you're going to get that leftover Taco Bell out of your fridge that you had as well. Support the sponsors, grab a Cutwater, and we'll be back in 90 seconds with some post-game reaction here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. Back here live on the rowpaint.com post-game show. Again, rowpaint.com. Perfect time of year for that concrete coating. Your back patio, your garage, your basement. Turn that ugly-looking slab of concrete in oil stains in your garage. Turn it into a just a transformational thing that's just so pretty to look at, and makes sure the increased appearance of your home so much nicer with those concrete coatings from rowpaint.com. We've had them out to our house twice. They're actually painting our house as we speak. I'm down here in Las Vegas, and they're back painting my house. So we appreciate rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. There would be no BNN without rowpaint.com. So go support Andy Rowe and Company. And again, the concrete coatings. And also, if you're looking for the exterior painting of your home, your siding, maybe that, the fence or whatever you got, you need some, all your painting needs, they can help you out. Again, roepaint.com. And we appreciate them. Let's see. We got a shout out for Jeff Grammer. Love Jeff Grammer. Had a chance to have a couple beers with him last night. Great dude, and one of the best out there. So let's see. The UW job scares me. Talking about taking Coach Pete, certainly could see why it would be attractive. Yeah, we'll see. I don't have a feel for it. Like I said, I tweeted something where I didn't think he would take it. And I had a couple people reach out saying, might want to back off on that. I mean, this might be something that he'd be interested in if the chips align. I think Danny Sprinkle's the lead job there, but I think there'd be two jobs that would certainly interest Leon Rice, given his history and his past and where he's from: Oregon and Washington. And the Washington job is going to be open, and that would be one of two that I think should be a little nervous for Boise State fans out there. So we'll see. Again, he's been here 14 years. Max is now done. It'd be life-changing money. He makes about $1 million here, and you could get, 3 or 4 there. And for, 4 or 5 years, he's 60 years old, get that last payday, have that last challenge. I don't think anybody could really blame him at this point if he does. But again, we'll see what happens with Danny Sprinkle. And I heard that Mark Pope at BYU could be an interesting candidate there as well at Washington. So we'll track that, but obviously that's not happening anytime soon. What are you thinking about a Utah State, San Diego State game? Going to have 2 great games. Somebody actually mentioned, let's see. Yep. Eugene, Dana Altman's seat getting a little warm there too. So yeah, those are 2, jobs to keep an eye on, I think, at some point. But again, I think, Boise State could have the best team they've ever had next year if he comes back, and if they find a 3-point shooter to go with Degenhart and Rice and Ogbo and Stanley and Degenhart and Roddy Anderson, another year to improve in this system. Like, Boise State could be loaded next year when you think about it. When you look out there on the court and see who's gone from New Mexico and who's going to be gone from Boise State, like, Boise State brings a ton back. So assuming Leon stays and assuming that they reload and all these guys come back, they could just be loaded next year. So I think there's a lot of intriguing reasons maybe to look at Washington, but I think there's a lot of intriguing reasons to stay too. And that's not even talking about Emmanuel Ugbo and Chris Lockett that didn't even play. And then guys like, RJ Keene and Andrew Meadow, who are going to get a lot better here moving forward as well. So somebody asked me about the Utah State, San Diego State game. Going to be a great game. I give the edge of San Diego State. I just like their veteran presence and their guys that have been here, done this in this tournament. And I just like San Diego State in this game. I think San Diego State's going to win, and I think New Mexico is going to win. I think New Mexico is going, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if New Mexico wins this tournament. I think with the way they played tonight, I was super impressed with New Mexico, and I thought they played super impressive and deserved certainly to win this game tonight. So let's hear from Leon Rice and some of the players. Boise State post-game press conference after the game. Again, Boise State falling 76-66. Let's hear from Coach Rice after Boise State falls in this one. The Broncos go 0-1 in the conference tournament for the 7th time in 13 years in the Mountain West. They had won at least one game in they've won it in 4 of the last 6 years. They had won it in 4 of the last 5 years coming in. So that narrative that they always lose in March and all that kind of stuff, one and done in the conference tournament, it really hasn't happened since 2018. I mean, they lost one and done a lot. They lost one and done in 2012, 2013, 2016, 2017, 2018. But it's only had happened one time since 2018 heading into to tonight. So they're 6-5 in the last 6 years. In the conference tournament. So again, that narrative is not exactly true, that they don't always, they don't perform well in the tournament. They've won at least one game in 4 of the last 5 coming in, but they go 0-1 tonight. Let's hear from the head coach, Leon Rice, after the game. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to get this figured out here. We were just had the editing going here. Let's see if we can get this going here. Very choppy on the video on my end. Well, maybe you can hear him at least. If you can't.
Athletes Tyson Degenhart, Max Rice, Coach Leon Rice. Coach, we start with you. Get some comments on tonight's game.
Apologize for the video quality here, guys.
Well, I thought New Mexico came out and really, really got after
Jaden, let's
us.
see if we can maybe get connected to the Ethernet or something here. I'll try that again. Why don't you take my Ethernet cord here and try to see, or see if you can airdrop me the video maybe, and I'll try to play it on my end. I apologize for that, guys. We'll get that figured out here in just a minute. The Mountain West does not let you shoot your own video at the press conference, and they don't let you, you're going to have to use the highlights they give you. You can't shoot your own highlights, and then you have to use the video that they provide for you for the post-game press conference. So the file is a way bigger file than we typically use. Jaden's working his butt off over here trying to get that in for us, and so it's not on him, but it was on his computer. We'll see if I can download it and try to play it on mine with the Ethernet cord that we have. But I'm not sure if it'll do anything better for the for that or not. You can remove yours from the studio there, Jaden. I'm going to remove Mike Prater as well. So we're getting that video in here. It'll be here in just a few minutes. I apologize for that. Let's take a look while it's finishing downloading here. The updated, the final numbers here. Tyson Degenhart, 23 points, 12 rebounds, another solid performance from him, but he was 2 of 10 from three-point range. So just thought that he really struggled a little bit, and he just, 23 points is great, but 2 of 10 from the three-point line, not great. Max Rice, 3 of 10 from the three-point line, three-point range as well. So your two stars, Degenhart and Rice, go 5 of 20 from three-point range. That certainly is not an ideal way to try to win the game. Roddy Anderson did have 10 points, but he was only 3 of 10 from the field. And as I said, he had 3 assists, but he had 4 turnovers. Let's see, Chibuzo Abo, 11 points. Only had like 3 shots in the first half. He needed to shoot more. He finished 4 of 12. He hit a couple big threes, which you thought was starting to help with the comeback there. I may not have enough memory left on my computer for this because it's kind of stalled out halfway here, Jaden. So I'm going to give you this Ethernet and just see if we could. Do you have an Ethernet cord adapter? I think I have another one, actually. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. We're going to try to get you this video as fast as we can. There's that, and we'll see if we can get Jaden to turn off your Wi-Fi and plug that in, and we'll try to get that fixed here in just a second. So I do want to hear from Leon Rice, do want to hear from the players. We'll get it up on the YouTube channel here shortly. Again, we're dealing with some different rules for the Mountain West, so we're doing our best, and they just posted the video, but it's a massive file, so we're going to see if we can try to get that uploaded through Ethernet, and if not, we may need to try to re-export it as a lower quality video. Maybe 2 would be the option. But again, I was going through the stats here. Abo was 11 points, but 4 of 12 from the field. Max Rice, 13 points, 4 of 13 from the field. They really shortened the bench tonight. Degenhart, 38 minutes and 40 seconds. Abo, 36 minutes, 54 seconds. Max Rice, 36 minutes, 56 seconds. So 3 of their starters played 37 or more minutes. And then Cam Martin, as I said, 3 points. He only got 3 points off your bench in this one for Boise State. So they just the bench was non-existent, and then they didn't really play a lot, so that's probably part of it. But also just was a situation where they rode the starters in this one, and they just picked a bad time to miss some shots and have a cold game. Again, I said it earlier in the show, but Boise State 10 of 34 from 2, 10 of 34 from 3. The Broncos got out muscled in the paint 40-20. New Mexico had 15 bench points. New Mexico also had 22 fast break points. They were getting out in transition and going, and I thought New Mexico just had a huge edge in the transition game, and a lot of them were just terrible turnovers from Boise State that led right to easy shots. It was 16 points, and that's a lot. 16 points off turnovers for New Mexico. And that's just, Boise State was only credited with 12 turnovers, but it seemed like all of them, especially early in the game, led to some easy buckets for New Mexico and just gave them that confidence and got them rolling. New Mexico also had 7 block shots for New Mexico. Boise State actually had 6, but 10 steals. So New Mexico, 10 steals to make up for the part of those 12 turnovers. I thought that they just turned up the intensity defensively, and they played extremely well on both ends of the floor tonight. Boise State really, as I said, settled for a lot of threes, couldn't get the ball in the paint. And then on the other side, New Mexico was pretty much getting to the paint at will. Super impressed with New Mexico and their ability to, get into the lane. Not just Jalen House, but Donovan Dent as well. Dent, was able to go what was Dent from the field? Donovan Dent, 8 of 9 from the field, 5 of 8 from the free throw line, 22 points, and he drew 8 fouls. So 8 fouls called against guys trying to guard Donovan Dent. That's a very high number, and also had 4 assists, 5 steals. So Donovan Dent had 31 down at the pit and played very well in this one. Again, if you just said before the game you're going to hold Jamal Mashburn Jr. 2 of 11 shooting and 4 points, you would have taken that right to the bank. Like, you're going to probably win that game if you hold Jamal Mashburn Jr. to 4 points on 2 of 11 shooting. But Donovan Dent, 8 of 9. He had the 22, as I said. On the interior, Boise State did a good job. They only allowed 6 points to Toppin and Joseph. JT Toppin, your freshman of the year in the Mountain West, did have 13 rebounds, but he only had 2 shots. So we're going to try it again. I think Jaden will. Why don't you play it, Jaden? Let's try out Leon Rice post game again if we got it working now. Looks a little better quality. Well, no, maybe not.
And we were kind of a little slow to respond, and but I, in the old days of this tournament, in other years, the teams that were playing on the first day were not NCAA tournament teams. So now you've got NCAA tournament teams. Now they got a game under their belt. I mean, we all know how good this league is. And, I mean, that's an advantage nobody wants to have. You don't want to have to play for it. But the team that, they played great yesterday, and they carried it over into today, and they have good momentum. We looked like a team that kind of was a little slow to get going. And not because maybe of us. I think our guys were ready. It's just I think they really came in, and they were carried over from yesterday, and they were firing on all cylinders. I mean, we have a lot of great teams in this league, and a lot of, I think we secured 6 bids now, and you take UNLV's first 4 weeks of the season out, and really that's 7 NCAA tournament level teams that are in this league, and because UNLV had been playing as good as anyone, and so. But give New Mexico a ton of credit that that was a team on a mission, and they got veteran guards that were on a mission, and I saw that tonight, and I said that to one of my guys today. I'm pretty sure Jalen's not going to miss shots tonight, and he was great. He was taking it to the hole, and it's not like it's a surprise or they sneak attack you. It's just one of those things that's easier said than done to keep those guys from getting to the hoop, and then also they took some of our misses that we had a couple late when we were making a good run. They just kind of rattled in and rattled out, and then they go down and get a lay-in at the other end, the big, huge 5-point swings that we needed those to drop. But again, like I said, we battled back the second half, and I really like the way we competed, and I got a team that always responds in the greatest way, and we get another chance to respond next week.
Thank you, Coach. Questions for the student athletes?
Yeah, Braden Nurse with the Mountain West. Just what kind of stood out to you about the way you fought and didn't let this game get away from you, and what would this win have meant to you guys?
I think one thing I would take away is we competed till the end. I mean, we cut to 4 or 5 with like 30 seconds left, and we were still in the game. So I'm really proud of our guys to fight till the end, and it would have been a big win for us. But you just gotta learn from this experience and go on to next week.
And Tyson, 23 and 12 rebounds on a night where you guys probably didn't rebound as well as you would have wanted to. Just what was your mindset going into it as far as physicality and doing those things?
I don't think we had the physicality that we needed to have in the first half, and I think we came out with a great mindset in the second and really competed and just left it all out on the floor.
Coach had already mentioned about how they trapped. They found some success in trapping you. How did they do it differently, though, than a couple weeks ago in Boise?
I think they came right off the pass instead of letting it dribble a little bit, and I think we had a good game plan of trying to get Roddy to the middle. We just didn't do a good enough job of hitting him and letting him make a play.
they are also a team that has been very open about how you guys have been able to get the better of them. You guys had won, I don't know, 5 or 6 out of the last 7. And it's always been about size, and they know who they are. They got 3 short guards that play it off a lot. How are you guys able, when you guys have beat them, to exploit that, and how are they able to sort of just maybe get the better of that matchup today with those short guards?
Yeah, they put dent on me today, which I thought was a smart move by Patino, and it kind of took me out of my game a little bit. And they also doubled. I think they were playing harder today than they did in the last 2 games. They knew what was at stake tonight, and they played really well.
Max, Leon kind of alluded to, House was going to make his shots tonight. 12-9 in the first 2 games against you guys, 29 tonight. What was different about his game?
I mean, he did good at getting to the line. I think he got to the rim also better than he had been against us. But he's a talented dude, and we know that. He just played well tonight, and he's been playing well all season. He just struggled against us the last 2 times, and he was due for a good one.
Tyson, just, you guys made a couple runs there in the second half, but it just seemed like every time you guys did, they had an answer. How frustrating was that you'd get close and then it'd be a 10-point game again?
It's definitely frustrating. We're making those runs, cutting it to 4. We just need one stop, and we just weren't able to get it tonight.
Early in the game, some of those turnovers led to easy. I think their first 7 points were off turnovers, and then you're kind of playing catch up the rest of the game. Just the start and their crowd getting into it right away, and you guys just kind of seemed just not in sync for a good chunk of the game. How surprising was that tonight?
It was pretty uncharacteristic for our team. We just got a little sped up, and knowing from our past experiences in the NCAA tournament, you can't dig yourself in a hole like that because it's harder to dig yourself out. I mean, we were down 19 to Memphis and almost dug out of that, but it was too little, too late. So definitely something we'll learn from to take the next week.
What did you see, Max, just in terms of why it just seemed like you guys were not really in a flow and out of sync, and just wasn't your typical performance tonight?
Yeah, no, we were fine. Don't get it twisted. That's the most talented team in the Mountain West, like top to bottom. I do not envy the 6-7 seed that has to play them in the NCAA tournament. So we were ready. It wasn't a matter of not being ready. That team is, when they're locked in, they're going to beat a lot of teams in this country. So they played better than us tonight, and that's that.
You got to remember that team was 18-3 the first time we played them, and they went, I think everyone at that time was like, this is the best team in the Mountain West. And it's just the Mountain West is so good. It's just, there was ups and downs for everybody, and you saw a team that played up tonight. But it's not like they haven't done that, previously. They were, remember when we went down there, they were beating everybody by 30, everybody, and so that, like Max said, is a really, really good team. I mean, when you have that many good guards and those big guys they're terrific, and so it's not, it's not like, that was a really good basketball team that has veteran guys that, they knew what was at stake. I mean, it's, they needed this tonight. So did we. It wasn't like we didn't come out and have, and get out and compete. We competed. I think it just got us, it just took us a little longer to get going. And like you said, then you're kind of battling uphill. And had we came out a little bit better, I think, who knows.
And for both of you guys, just how do you feel, just about, you guys have responded a lot this season when, after a loss and things, just going into next week, regrouping and getting a chance, obviously, goal to make history next week.
You got
that? We'll just take the time to rest up and wait for Selection Sunday, and then we'll just see where we're playing and get prepared for whoever we're at stake with. This team with our backs against the wall has always played the best, and now with the next loss, our season's over, so our backs are really against the wall now. So I know our team's going to do a great job of responding and recovering over this next week.
Max was talking about it today. There's probably only a small handful of people that have seen every single Boise State game in a Mountain West Conference tournament, and I'm guessing you're one of them. It's not very often that you can probably sit here after a loss at the Mountain West Conference tournament and still feel pretty confident on Selection Sunday. So along those lines, just curious, what is your feeling going into Selection Sunday?
Yeah, I really like our resume right now, and I think it's only going to get better with Colorado State winning tonight too. They can move to a quad one for us. That'd be our 7th, I think, quad one win. So I think we're sitting really pretty. It's just a matter of staying confident and staying together as a team. But when you look at our resume from top to bottom, I think we're doing really well, and this will help New Mexico's resume also. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot.
Okay, I'm going to dismiss the student athletes at this time. We'll keep Coach for a few more minutes. Thanks, man.
Leon, I'll pick it up right there. Just what I was talking with Max about. It is not too often that you guys have been able to sit here, after a loss in the Mountain West tournament and still feel pretty good about going into Selection Sunday. How do you feel about going into Selection Sunday with the body of work you've done?
I think it's beyond pretty good. It's terrific. And, this was the best the league's ever been, and we finished second. A game, a free throw here or there out of first. I mean, really, when you think about it. But so terrific. And, the chair of the committee, the thing that jumps out at me, he said, we're going to reward teams that went out and scheduled, check, which we did, and then won games away from their home, which, we got some high quality wins, especially in league. So you couldn't ask for, I think we're being undervalued by some people. We'll see what the committee does, but we got a really, really good resume when you look at who we played, and night in, night out. It was pretty impressive. We, played NCAA tournament teams all over this schedule, and we beat a lot of good ones. So, you look at the amount of quad one wins we have, really no bad losses. I mean, not much more you could do, really. Obviously you win every game. There's a lot more you can do, but really our guys are juiced up about it. We're ready to go. You got to just shake this off and move on. When you're in a great league, it's the team that plays the best that wins, and that's what happened tonight. They played great.
You've been so adamant about how you want to continue to grow this program. I remember days where it felt like your family was basically the only people that traveled to Las Vegas, and now you look up there and there's you get a nice following. On that note too, you look over at New Mexico and what they bring here. It almost felt like it was a semi-home game for them tonight. What do you think of their support? And as you guys could grow, what do you think of your support?
But you're right. What a great atmosphere for a late game, and our fans are more and more coming, and you're just building it brick by brick and getting more and more interest. Wish we could have kept them around for a little longer. But yeah, it did. It felt like a road game tonight, no doubt. The New Mexico fans showed up, and they always have. I don't remember very many times when they didn't in my 14 years here, or 13 years in this league, and but it was a great Mountain West crowd and good atmosphere for a tournament game, and I'm so grateful to the fans that did come, and sorry we couldn't keep them around for tomorrow's game too. But
Leon, they had a 40-20 edge on points in the paint, and I think in the first half you guys only had 3 field goals that weren't threes, and you took 34 threes tonight, and their dribble penetration was hurting you too. Just how do you look at that give and take? I guess were you having tough on the inside, and they were having some success in there.
Yeah, and that's where we've had a bit of an advantage. But it's one of those things. Guarding them is easier said than done. You know what they're going to do, but they finished. Donovan Dent, man, he finished as good as any guard in the country when he gets in there, and there's a couple times where we bodied him up pretty good and seemed like we contested pretty good, and he still finished it. And so again, hats off to those guys. It was he had 22 points off 9 shots. That's pretty darn efficient, and made good decisions all night, handled the ball, that kind of stuff. So like I said, just tip of a cap to those guys, and it's going to be interesting the rest of the way in this tournament. See what happens.
Leon, it felt like the looks were there. Max had an in and out that I think makes it a 1-possession game there. Roddy was getting to the basket at will, but was having a hard time finishing. It just felt like there was a lot of bunnies.
that were missed tonight. Was there a common denominator with it? Or is that just how it goes sometimes?
That's just, and that was more in the second. Roddy got to the paint pretty good in the first half and didn't finish any of them. Second half, he did a better job of getting in there and mixing up, finish some, kick some. We just settled down a little bit and got better. But it was a big play. Max had a 3, and it looked like it was in, and it rattled around, and then it rolled around, came off, and then they laid it in. It was a 5-point swing that would have cut it to 3. And that's, if that goes, who knows? But that's basketball.
Right here.
Coach, so the team only shot 29% tonight, 29.4, but you guys were still able to scrape together 66 points, and it was only a 10-point loss against New Mexico. Played fantastic tonight. So what can you say about how your team fought despite the ball not dropping?
We compete and we battle, and if we didn't do that, you could have got blown out with all those. And look at those numbers, no doubt. And it was a 4-point game with 30 seconds to go. That after all that, it was a 4-point game with 30 seconds to go. Our guys never quit, and they battle, and they don't. I've had, we've all seen teams that when the ball just won't go, and it just affects everything. And our team is pretty good about keep fighting, and we got 18 offensive rebounds and kept fighting there, and kind of flipped the boards a little bit in the second half. But they knew that they had to control that or be close even with us to win that game, and they battled on the glass too. So just a good college basketball battle.
Leon, kind of the same question I asked Max. When you're able to shut down House, a score like House for 2 games, how hard is it? You know he's going to be motivated coming into the third game. How hard is it to do it a third time?
Yeah, I felt that today. I just okay, he's not going to. We're not counting on him missing tonight. And these veteran guards, he knew that it's win or go home in both tournaments. Really, probably is where they, who knows, but that's how they approached it. And when you have veteran guards that are playing for their lives, that's what he looked like tonight. So, and all of them, they were clutch down they made their free throws down the stretch when we were fouling. They did what they had to do to win.
Kind of depending on if you get a Thursday slot, Friday slot, it's going to be one game in 13 or 14 days you guys have played. Do you kind of embrace that rest, or do you kind of worry about rust? Or
say that again?
Depending on if you're playing in Thursday or Friday, it'll be one game you guys have played in the previous 13 or 14
days.
At
this time of year, any day that you can get any rest is a blessing. It's a blessing because it's a long grind of the season, and we'll come in fresh, excited. It's the NCAA tournament. It's the greatest sporting event there is, and there won't be. Yeah, now we'll play a great team because they did something to get there too. So, but we'll be excited, ready to go, and there will, that's how it is in that tournament.
Last 2 questions.
There he is, Leon Rice. We'll get the rest of that posted on the BNN YouTube channel here shortly. We appreciate Jaden Finch. He's working hard, and the seat next to me getting you set there. So I want to thank a couple of our sponsors. Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. They got 5 NIL deals with student athletes at Boise State. You can do what the Raines family did. We went online, found a couple of vehicles we liked winning. We test drove 2, and this was the truck we liked, and now we purchased it in a couple hours there from Lithia Ford Boise. So check them out, Lithia Ford of Boise. lithiafordboise.com. I know Jim Sturk is working on the hole-in-one contest again for the golf tournament, so appreciate Jim Sturk and Lithia Ford Boise. Also appreciate Travis Hawks, the Blue and Orange store, Capital 11, David Gardner, the whole crew there. Saw them at Circa today. The Blue and Orange store, #1 selection for all your Boise State gear and apparel, Nike, official coaches, shirts, jerseys, hats, caps, you name it. They got it all at the Blue and Orange store. Online, theblueandorangestore.com. You got daily deals and things on there, flash sales, or if you're in the Boise area, you can go to check them out at the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, right next to Pro Image. Hey, if you're looking for a job, how about the trucking industry, transportation compliance service, transcompservice.com. Check them out. Complete trucking compliance management, all the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out, Transportation Compliance Service. And Taco Bell, great food, it's delicious, and you can support a company that is supporting Boise State at the same time. SON Management, the Nicolason family, we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News and Boise State Athletics, and they're donating hundreds of thousands of dollars to Boise State Athletics for the men's and women's basketball endowed scholarship funds at Boise State. So check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. They're hiring as well. So free food and half your pay the next day after your shift. What could be better than that? Check them out at TacoBellWorks.com. And of course, Bronco Brew Coffee. It's at 1:02 a.m. here in Vegas, 2:02 a.m. back in Boise, 4:02 a.m. for those of you watching on the East Coast. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully you had your fix of Bronco Brew Coffee. Again, roasted to order. And in most cases, in 24 hours, it'll be at your doorstep in the Treasure Valley. BroncoBrew.coffee. Check them out. And again, help out the NIL game at Boise State with a couple bucks from each purchase goes right into the pocket of a student athlete of your choice at Boise State. So check that out and support Bronco Brew Coffee and have some delicious tasting coffee at the same time. Back here at the Thomas and Mack Center, Boise State loses 76-66. And again, if the looking at a lot of the comments here, I know we had some. Let's see, the BSU bench played 30 minutes. New Mexico bench 55. We'll need the bench in March Madness next week. Let's see. As much as Grand Tetons loves a good troll session from time to time, the amount of growth the program has made has been fun to watch. 3 straight tournaments has been fun. No longer just a football school. I actually like seeing that, Grand Tetons. I know folks are hoping for Salt Lake. Somehow in Salt Lake, surprised at the 10-1 fan attendance in the stands. Hopefully more abuse in Salt Lake City. The one way that they could get to Salt Lake is if they're in the 8-9 and if Arizona gets a 1. Arizona is going to Salt Lake. That's pretty much decided. The question is, will Arizona be a 1 or will Arizona be a 2? If Arizona is a 1, then you're going to have an 8 and a 9 in Salt Lake City, and that could certainly be a good spot for Boise State. I don't know if Gonzaga will get there, but I think Gonzaga, Boise State in the 8-9 with the winner playing Arizona has all kinds of storylines wrapped up where you get Tommy Lloyd, Mark Few, Leon Rice all in a little mini pod there. I think that certainly is in play in the 8-9 game in Salt Lake. If Arizona is a 2 seed, then Boise State would have to be in the 7-10 game to play again in Salt Lake against Arizona. So that's just one scenario that could keep Boise State in Salt Lake would be you just have to see what Arizona gets. And whenever the seeding comes out and they announce the 4 number 1 seeds, that's one of the first things you should be looking for is does Arizona get a number 1 seed? And then if they do, and I think we all kind of believe right now Boise State's in the 8-9 game. I don't know if they'll be an 8 or a 9, but I think Boise State has done enough. And they could maybe be a 10, but I don't think so. I think Boise State's going to be on the 8-9 game. And if that's the case, you would want, again, Arizona to get to a 1, and then you could be in Salt Lake City there. What you really don't want is the 8-9 like in Brooklyn. You go all the way to Brooklyn and play Michigan State or somebody and then have to play UConn maybe in the second round. So I don't really care about the second round opponent. Like win the first game first, then just take your chances and see what happens. I know if you want to dream, kind of Sweet 16 run, you'd like to have a team in the second round that maybe you can, beat. But I mean, you got to win the first game first, and they've never won a game in the first round. So some other comments here. We're going to wrap this up in a little bit. As I said, it's 2:05 back in Boise. As you can tell, my voice is going away. I've been doing a lot of talking the last couple of days. We have the pool party tomorrow as well. So it's going to be another long day. Let's see what else we got here. All right. AP is tired of the excuses, guaranteeing they lose round 1 of the tourney. We'll see. Grand Tetons just won a tournament game. He says he would like the 10 better than the 8-9 because then you get to play that 2 in the second round, which certainly is true. John, appreciate the comment here. Hopefully, answers heard 7 and 9 seed. If they slip to a 10, that'd be a disaster. Starting 0-10 in the tournament at that point. You got to score more than 66 points. Yeah, John, we just kind of talked about that, but I think 8-9 is probably the likely scenario there. The first Utah State game stings, no doubt. I mean, the first Utah State game stings for me. I mean, that would have given you obviously a share of the conference title, but the Washington State game in non-conference really stings too, because if they call that foul on Roddy Anderson and the video shows, this is not some homer thing. The video clearly shows from under the basket, Roddy Anderson getting hit across the arm. It was an obvious foul call that David Hall did not make for some reason with 9 seconds left. If that foul call is made, Boise State probably beats Washington State. So you'd have another quad 1 marquee non-conference win on your schedule. And I think that's a huge game you would have liked to have had back. I also think the Utah State game certainly would have been one to have back. The first one where Omar Stanley, missed a late free throw, and the guy went coast to coast with 1 second left. So that certainly was a tough a couple of games that could have swung things. But I think Boise State's in. They've done enough, and they're going to be in the 8-9 game, I believe, most likely. Selection Sunday, I think 4:00 on Sunday. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to finding out where we are headed. And we could really use your support. It's not cheap to get to the NCAA tournament on short notice. So if you are able to potentially help us out with a subscription, we would certainly love that. $50 gets you a full year, 365 days of coverage, including the Mike Prater column, which I just posted. While Leon Rice was talking there, I posted Mike Prater's column. So when we're done here, you can go read Mike Prater and get his instant thoughts on Boise State falling in Las Vegas. So $50, BNN 50 deals, that promo code. You get 365 days of exclusive access from Bronco Nation News. We also have the $6.99 monthly option as well if the yearly option is too much for you. So appreciate you guys for checking us out. Tomorrow, you have the semifinals now. It's San Diego State, and it is Utah State, and then New Mexico and Colorado State. I got San Diego State and New Mexico in the championship, and I got New Mexico winning this tournament based on what I've seen the last couple of days. They played great. They will fly back tomorrow. They were originally scheduled to fly back Saturday. They're on Southwest, so they'll probably just find some open flights tomorrow and get everybody back at some point tomorrow, and then they'll rest up for the selection show on Sunday. So I got no voice. I still got a story to write. I got a lot of work to do, and it's 1:08 in the morning, and I got a pool party that starts in 9 hours, and I'm praying for no rain. So I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. Thanks to Jaden Finch for his outstanding work as well, our intern, and we got plenty of work still to do. Probably back at the hotel, actually. I may go back there and, change clothes and take my shoes off and relax a little bit and maybe even have a beer. Who knows? But I got a story to write and some other things. So go read Mike Prater's column. And you can also join me and Jay Tuss. We'll be back at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's 11 a.m. back in Boise at the start of the pool party, 11 a.m. in Boise. Jay Tuss and I will be live from Cabana 6 there at Circa Resort and Casinos. So appreciate you guys. Been Oscar wants 100 on red. I actually have to do that. Jeff Miner, one of our advertisers with Transportation Compliance Service, has asked me to bet $100 for him. So we will do that and get that done. So appreciate you guys for checking us out, and go subscribe and help us out if you can. And again, 1:09 in the morning here, 2:09 back in Boise, and we still have over 100 of you watching us right now. So we sincerely appreciate all of you, and hopefully I'll see you at the pool party. If not, maybe I'll see you at the NCAA tournament. I know it's a rough loss. I know a lot of you folks are down in the dumps tonight, but Boise State's still going to the tournament. When that show on Sunday happens, you're going to see and hear Boise State's name. That's a pretty cool feeling. First time in program history, it's happening for the third year in a row. So, could be worse. Could be worse. So enjoy it and, move past this one. There's more games to be played. We'll find out where Boise State's heading on Sunday. But Jay Tust will join me tomorrow, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. in Las Vegas at the start of the pool party. So join us then. Join us at the pool party if you can. And again, free entry if you just say you're here for the BNN pool party, and they'll give you a free drink ticket as well. So appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your evening. And we'll talk to you in about 8.5 hours on Bronco Nation News. So for Jaden Finch, I'm BJ Rains for rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. This has been the rowpaint.com postgame show. Again, final score from Thomas and Mack Center, 76-66. Boise State falls. They'll await their NCAA destination on Sunday. Have a good rest of your evening, guys. We'll talk to you at 11 a.m. with Jay Tust. Bronco Nation News Live, bronconationnews.com.